Hytale has been given an impossible task by some people, and my last video didn't really help. For those that haven't seen it, you don't have to for this one, but it shined a light on the pretty inevitable social media circulating airflow of rage bait and comparisons to what many people see as the one and only of the voxel game genre, Minecraft. Unlike that video, I'm not here to reiterate that Hytale is unique and deserves its own moment of attention. Rather, that Hytale, of course, inevitably compared to Minecraft, doesn't even have to compete with it to be a very successful video game. Minecraft has seeded itself into the internet culture globally. It is a distinct part of gaming industry history. It was a key component of the growth the website you are watching this video on experienced. Minecraft, although adorned in modern internet slop, is something I can't summarize as less than a pop culture milestone, something that became oh so much more than the sum of its parts. Of course, I cannot see the future. Maybe Hytale is destined the same, but I think to bet on that theoretical future in which somehow Hytale becomes the thing that kills a billion-dollar franchise is something I think we all know isn't realistic, whatever that may mean. But I don't think it's a situation where it's either Hytale is a smash that dethrones the almighty or is doomed to fizzle out shortly after launch. It doesn't have to live up to that goal. It never did. It can be something else, something so prevalent only as of recently. Friend slop is, in my opinion, a microcosm of a new habit that has come over the gaming audience in recent years. The slop half of the word comes with a negative and even disrespectful connotation and kind of throws away the individuality of a game, but honestly, the negative half of it has started to wear out for me. Slop has become one of those words that feels like it had a solid definition 4 years ago because people didn't wear it out of its meaning yet, even though I did use it earlier in this video. So when you hear me say the word friend slop, I genuinely don't mean it in a negative way. To me, it's become just a part of internet nomenclature attached to a vibe, more so than a specific set of game mechanics. Some of the most notable friend slop games include an extraction-based co-op looter, or what I like to call scrapper, with some almost roguelike mechanics dusted in there. But anyone who's actually played Lethal Company for more than 20 minutes knows that its nuances and design are deceptively simple and warrants more commentary than what I just did. Sure, it's not drowning in depth, but it's a game that I would describe as one that looks easy to make, but definitely is not. A great example of this is Repo, a game that on paper is straight up Lethal Company, but again, with its nuances in design, actually makes it a pretty distinct thing in gameplay terms, and is unquestionably quite polished. Many people have pointed out friend slop is just a new brain rot word for co-op game, but again, this is one of those things that is a bit too nebulous for me to confidently tie down. I mean, Escape from Duckov is a recent smash hit, a single-player extraction shooter where you play as a duck in military gear, is entirely single-player as well. I've not heard it called friend slop by literally anyone for obvious reasons, but if you could play it in co-op, I suspect it would receive that label as well. There's actually another terminology thrown around, content slop, but we're getting a little too deep now, to be honest. And I know you're thinking right now, what does this have to do with Hytale? But just stick with me for a moment. These games are not slop, at least in many of the more viral cases. They are genuinely well-crafted video games that are aware of their limitations and scope and even embrace those limitations, and can be a place to find some real soul in the art nowadays. So to cast aside a pretty limiting and confusing terminology, only brought up to put everyone on the same page, I actually think these games, and whatever label the internet throws at them, is a reaction to the moment social media algorithms and online platforms became strong enough to give these type of games an opportunity at AAA levels of success. Fun indie games you can enjoy with your friends for a while have always existed. The new element in play is this new form of virality that was born post-2020. As a content creator, I deal with algorithms a lot. My brain thinks in impressions, click-through rates, and audience statistics. And I'd be curious if any fellow creators who may be watching this video would agree, these systems have gotten far smarter in the last 5 years than they were previously. I don't know what moment specifically it happened. It wasn't specifically the new incarnation of AI we've all become a bit too familiar with, because I think it started a bit before the likes of LLMs came about. But somewhere we turned a page and it almost feels like the entire internet became aware of each other. Social media and the internet at large became calibrated to engagement and relied less on people spreading the word with their words, and more so with their interactions. Twitter has inside jokes that span tens of millions of people, that vanish in days. Videos take on audiences in sizes previously unseen for many reasons. Short-form content is so popular now, it's unavoidable. But games and their relationship with those online content platforms are being swept up in this system and are casting massive shadows over many people. They've become so big out of nowhere, people can't help but throw labels around for a moment so distinct. Back in 2019, Hytale was enjoying a virality that I think was a kind dying out. Virality and what it is to me has changed a lot since the 2010s, when Minecraft was this thing people were playing and talking about on this newer video website YouTube everyone's talking about. The spotlight Hytale has been fortunate enough to find itself under a second time has a different environment surrounding it than it did back then. When Hytale was acquired, its story would have been a new IP by billion-dollar company Riot, stepping out of their comfort zone and into the arena with Microsoft and Minecraft. And of course, the AAA space enjoys this newfound virality all the time, but Hytale, under Riot, would have had to be something inherently more safe, statistically likely to succeed than not. And that story just doesn't fit in with the current environment these indie games thrive in. Repo has been around for around 6 months and is still hitting impressive concurrent player counts, climbing to the top 40 games on the entire Steam platform in terms of concurrence as of writing, hitting upwards of 35,000 at peak times. 6 months in, having dedicated player bases of that size is something some industry studios wish they could capture. Duckov peaking around the same player count a month later, all timing at over 300,000. Lethal Company released in late 2023 and took until mid-2025 to slip consistently below 10,000 on average. Insanely impressive. These indie games serve almost as a reminder to the industry at large. The ultimate safe decision is to make a fun game. Hytale scope is much larger. It isn't the same as a single dev passion project. It is intended to become something far more than that and is a much larger, currently funded indie project with a distinct lack of focus on monetization currently, with a story people have been following for years seemingly coming back to the beginning with the ending written before it. Hytale, for lack of a better term, could be the toppest tier S+++ friend slop hit that grows a staying power that may just put it in a position to take advantage of this moment and perhaps hit that AAA level in a more permanent way than its contemporaries. Time, and only time, of course, will tell. One of the jokes I hear tossed around Twitter memes occasionally is the yearly Minecraft phase that people and their friend groups go through, and 2026 could be the year a different game could take up that moment. Hytale is fundamentally designed to be something you create with, but it is a blurred line between a game you play and make. I would wager, though, the real player numbers, that virality that I keep bringing up, is something found in mostly just people who simply want a fun game to play for a bit, preferably with their friends. And Simon, the head of the project, has specifically taken time to call out to those people that enjoy the cozy home vibe, managing a farm and animals and such, an audience I suspect is vast in numbers and largely interacts with a game like Minecraft in that friend group cozy bantery vibe once in a while. They're even assembling a dedicated team focused entirely on bringing this vibe to life and creating a living world filled with warmth, charm, and good vibes, so Simon says in that tweet. Hytale's ownership has pledged 10 years of development and seems to have little regard for its financial performance in the opening years. It will be entirely unfinished and will remind us of its indie nature. While it isn't a single-player co-op extraction game, it is, I believe, primed for that same virality. Instead of Hytale coming out and being the one that bests Minecraft, it can just be a fun game all of us give a shot for a weekend that some of us stay for. And if that new virality wants one thing, it's a damn good story. Thanks for your time.